They are very destructive comments that we hear, no, you are. I have said that if I have to choose a phrase for my campaign, it will be back to Article 1 of the UN Charter. Article 1 of the UN Charter talks about the main priorities of the UN. First, peace and security. Second, you have peace and security also if you prevent, and prevention is development, and development has to happen within the respect for human rights. And that's Article 1 of the UN Charter. And really substitute the UN in the humanitarian. We can use more help. We can use more local, for example, organizations. Or when the UN was established, there were 50 countries in the UN. Today, we are 193. So there are 143 countries that did not contribute to the architecture that was established in 1945. So today, we have to be more inclusive, and those voices have to have a wider space to be heard in the UN. And that knowledge and experience that we have accumulated through so many decades, been able to have and to put because I have said that I know all the women which names have been, mentioned for the Secretary General. I can assure you that all of them, including me, we have all the merits to be in this race. We don't need a special treatment. What we are really asking for is not discrimination. Diplomatic actor in the world, the Gulf in general is saying we have to close you and whatever, and that won't help the world. Well, obviously, a huge responsibility and a huge honor. Yes, if you can really contribute to improve the world, yes, it's a huge gift that life can give you. I will be very honored to be there. Was the agreement that we with Turkey, so that is a good example. Turkey in whatever solutions we find for. He said in the General Assembly that the UN has huge potential, but that he believes that the UN is not, has not used its potential to the fullest, and maybe this is not a destructive critique. It could be a constructive one. If we can be better, we should be better. And I think that the UN, as I said before, has to embrace reform, not to be defensive about reform. I think that we have to admit that there has been a weakening of the trust in the UN, and in the UN as a conduit to find solutions to our challenges. And we have to, to be aware of that, to ask what we can do to regain the trust in an institution that is so important for the stability of the world.
The Assembly will now take a decision on draft resolution A/80/L10 entitled
Madame President, dear delegates, different cultures can be united by sport.
What we don't want is to throw away, all the experience and infrastructure that the UN has built these 80 years that has served the world pretty well. Because if you look around and you compare what we had in 1945 with what we have in 2025, 80 years after, you have much less poverty in the world. You have, maternal mortality and infant mortality has gone down more than 80% in the world. So we have a path to go. We have to be better in what comes next. Probably the challenges today are more complex, and geopolitics is more difficult, but I think that the UN can change to be fit for purpose in what is needed today, not what was needed in 1945.